Hello everybody, my name is Harriet and I am the Information Advocacy and Research Officer with the Multiple Sclerosis Society of Ireland. So I am going to give a bit of an overview of some of the various ways in which MS Ireland supports and gets involved in research, both sort of social research and scientific research into MS. Probably all have at least a little bit of an awareness of what multiple sclerosis is, but just very quickly, it's the most common disabling disease of the central nervous system in younger people. So the sort of average age of onset is between 20 and 40, so it really does affect people in sort of the prime of life, the time of life when people are thinking about relationships, careers and so on. It's extremely unpredictable, so no two cases are the same. There's three broad types of MS, the most common being relapse-remitting, whereby the person might be quite stable, they might still experience symptoms such as fatigue, but they'll be relatively stable most of the time, but then they'll experience sudden relapses or flare-ups, and then you get the two progressive forms, primary progressive and secondary progressive, and when the disease is progressive, obviously that's when disability levels start to increase and so on. Symptoms very varied again, can include fatigue, cognitive issues, mobility problems, and so on. There is no cure as yet, but there are drugs to manage the symptoms and kind of try and delay the progression of the disease as well. It affects approximately 9,000 people in Ireland, so we have one of the highest incidences of MS in the world. We don't quite know why that is. There's a lot of research being done internationally now that suggests that there's some sort of link with vitamin D, because what we do know is that the further away you go from the equator, the more the incidence of MS increases. So we don't know quite why that is or what the vitamin D link is, but there does seem to be something in that. Very briefly on MS Ireland and who we are and what we do. So we're the only national support organisation providing information, support and advocacy services to the MS community. So obviously by the MS community we don't just mean people that have MS, we mean carers, families, employers, health professionals, everybody that's affected by MS. So that's our mission statement there. The structure of the organisation, so board of directors, chief executive, senior management team, and then we have regional offices and branches around the country that do some community work, casework, things like that, and obviously use support services. So MS Ireland and research. So obviously we believe that research is key to, it's the most beneficial way to improve understanding of the disease and management of the disease, and hopefully ultimately, obviously, the aim leading to a cure eventually. So as an organisation we support, promote and fund scientific and social research. I suppose two very broad ways in which we do that. So translation and dissemination, so basically getting research findings out there, so explaining and disseminating research to people with MS and other stakeholders. So for example we have our biannual magazine MS News, which goes out to about 6,000 people. We're starting in June, we'll be starting a new research e-zine, another biannual research e-zine, with a focus on Irish research into MS, but also looking at some of the stuff that's going on internationally. Contributions welcome. It doesn't necessarily have to be MS specific. I mean, the other two talks I've heard today, there's lots of things in there that could well be relevant or eventually be relevant to MS. So we're looking for contributions for that as well. So if anyone's interested, my contact details are on the last slide at the end. We do MS Research Explored events, so we had one in November where we had some leading researchers sort of explaining their research findings to an audience of people with MS and their families. Very well attended, over 100 people came to that, and then we had a lot more kind of tuning in via live stream as well, so that was very successful. We also do produce sort of position papers on specific issues, so some of you may have seen the recent BBC documentary about stem cell research into MS, there's obviously a lot of excitement about it because it does seem to be very promising in terms of sort of reversing disability and sort of presented almost as a cure. It is very exciting. Unfortunately it's not a cure, we're not there yet, so one of the things that we would do is produce sort of position papers explaining to people what that stem cell research is, how it works, some of the risks and so on. Obviously when something like that comes out, everyone wants to find out how they can get their hands on it, so just explaining some of the risks involved in going off to some sort of random clinic in Poland that appears to be offering this for €80,000, and just explaining some of the issues involved in that. And then collaboration, so we have various co-funded research projects, which I'm going to talk a little bit more about in a second. So we have projects that are co-funded by the Health Research Board and the Medical Research Charities Group, who are an umbrella organisation for medical research charities. and some key academic partnerships. Again, I'll explain a bit more about those. So we have the University of Limerick and NUI Galway, the two of the main ones that we're involved with at the moment. And we occasionally have events where we bring MS researchers together. So we have, like I said, quite informal lunch in October just to get the researchers together and talking. So the NUI Galway project now, I'm not a clinical researcher, so I'm going to ask you to be nice to me and not to make me attempt to read out that title. But in a nutshell, what this project is looking at remyelination. So what happens in MS is that the immune system, it's an autoimmune disease, so the body's immune system attacks the myelin sheath, which is a sort of protective coating around the nerves. So this project is looking at factors that may sort of stimulate remyelination or regrowth of that coating, because it does seem to appear that particularly in the early stages of MS, the nerves can repair themselves. So they're doing various lab-based experiments looking into what might cause that and how we can stimulate that, with the eventual aim of developing a remyelination drug. So that's a project that's being co-funded again with MS Ireland, the HLB and the MRCG. Collaboration with the University of Limerick. So with a long-standing collaboration with the University of Limerick, mainly with Dr. Susan Cooch, who's a leading physiotherapist down there. So there's various exercise-based projects going on down there. And exercise has been proven many times to have a lot of benefit to people with MS. So some of the projects that we have at the moment, so Getting the Balance Right was an exercise project that was developed with a research element. So it's an exercise class with a research element. So initially involving a group of 1,700 people with MS who were grouped into 3 strands based on their disability level. So you'd have strand A with people who are quite mobile and active, down to strand C who will be a lot more disabled and have a lot more limited mobility. And that's been going on for a long time. It's now been rolled out nationally by MS Ireland, so we have classes of Getting the Balance Right going on all around the country, so it's again proved very successful. The Activity Matters project was looking to develop mainly a web-based resource, but also with a paper-based resource to go alongside it. So the aim of that was to try and find out, and as I said, exercise has been proven over and over again to be very, very beneficial, but there's lots of factors that might prevent somebody with MS from exercising, so fatigue, physical ability, etc., etc. So what Activity Matters wanted to do, they conducted some qualitative interviews trying to find out what those factors are that might prevent people from exercising and how they thought a web-based resource might help them. So the website has been developed. Unfortunately, it's not live yet. There's various issues around funding and so on, but we will hopefully get that up and running and get that live. And we have so it's a pilot website at the moment, and we have a draft booklet available as well. Stepping Up program is sort of like followed on from Activity Matters and Getting the Balance Right. So basically that's kind of looking at some of the social cognitive factors that might encourage people to stay with exercise. So if they go for a program like Getting the Balance Right, kind of bringing that forward into their daily lives, so some of the social cognitive factors that might influence that and influence the longer term outcomes for these sort of exercise programs. We've also various falls prevention studies going on at the University of Limerick. So smartphone study at the moment, there's extensive literature review being conducted into the whole area of falls prevention. And those projects, as I say, they're still ongoing. One has recruited 82 people there, so we're still, obviously we liaise very closely with the team, and they'll tell us when we have their results, and then we'll disseminate them to our stakeholders. And that's just, the photo there is just of Susan Coogan and some of her team at the University of Limerick. On the more social research side of things, so the Societal Costs of MS report came out in October last year. So this was a collaboration with ourselves, UCD and Novartis. So this was looking at the costs of multiple sclerosis to society, so to the taxpayer basically, I suppose, in a nutshell. It looks obviously at the direct healthcare costs, so have some of the data there. It looked at hospital admissions, home care services, the very direct, tangible healthcare costs. But it also looked at the more intangible things like loss of productivity, so people have to give up or reduce their working hours or give up work altogether because of their MS, so it also looked at all that kind of thing. And then informal caregiving, so caregivers having to do the same. So you can see the headline figure there is MS costs Ireland, the Irish Society, approximately €429.15 million per year. This has been a really important piece of work in terms of our advocacy work, because obviously if you're trying to get things changed, influence policy and so on. Politicians don't really like, case studies and emotional stories and so on. They're more likely to listen to the figures, particularly if it saving money comes into it. So there's a lot in there again around how preventing disease progression can save money. So if we intervene early, treat early, identify early, all that can ultimately save society and the taxpayer money. Some other key figures there, again, 9,000 people with MS have sort of got that. Before this report we were saying 8,000, and now we think it's closer to 9,000. The Dean Medal Travel Bursary is an award that we make. So it was set up in honour of Dr. Jeffrey Dean, who was an internationally regarded MS researcher. So this award is given to researchers who want to travel to a centre of excellence to further their current research. So we've awarded 2 so far. So it was set up in 2010. So we've awarded 2, one to NUI Galway, and the most recent there, literally within the last few weeks, was awarded to Dr. McNicholas from St Vincent's Hospital, and she's going to go to Sweden to look at, I can see if I can remember this now, cerebrovascular fluid biomarkers, I think, and I probably said that completely wrong. But again, it's looking at markers which can kind of indicate the likelihood of disease progression in MS and how we might be able to predict the course of the disease. Some other ways in which MS Ireland supports research, so through membership of the MRCG, so the MRCG is the Medical Research Charities Group, as I already said, so that involves things like advocating for greater government investment in medical research, and one of the big problems for MS in Ireland is we don't have patient registries or proper patient registries. The data on MS and so on is quite patchy, so that's obviously a big problem in terms of clinical trials. So that's something that in collaboration with other organisations, and that's not just a problem for MS, it's a problem for other disease groups as well. So that's something that we would like to see changed, obviously. Promoting and supporting patient involvement in research. So I'm a member of IPOSI, the Irish Platform for Patient Organisation, Science and Industry. And then we have a team of bloggers called MS and Me, and one of our bloggers, Joan, is actually on the UPATI programme at the moment, so her experience of doing that, the European Patients Academy on Therapeutic Innovation, so her experience of doing that programme is proving hugely valuable to us as an organisation in terms of, patient involvement in the whole sort of area of research. Contribution of funding to the International Progressive MS Alliance. So we're doing a big fundraising campaign at the moment called Kiss Goodbye to MS, which is an international campaign and started in Australia. And the aim of that campaign is to raise money for MS research. And part of the money that we raise from that will go towards the International Progressive MS Alliance to look into. So currently, most research is concentrated on the area of the relapse remitting. I suppose because it's the most common, but also. It is, I suppose it's where it's perceived as being the most hope-like, the people that you can do the more for, but there's not as much research into progressive MS at the moment, and the Progressive MS Alliance are looking to change that. And then we're just supporting undergraduate and postgraduate researchers, so we can share requests with participants, once we have the relevant ethical approvals, obviously. So we can share requests on our website, social media, etc. So we get quite a few requests from undergraduate and postgrads. So, and likewise, I should have said, the research easy, and again will be another way in which researchers can use us to kind of try and find participants for studies. That's a bit on Kiss Goodbye to MS. I'm not going to spend too long on that, but that's just a bit about the campaign. And that's pretty much it. So I think I've